Hello everyone, and welcome to Greyhammer. Today we're going to be going over the Blades of Khorne, our first Chaos faction. A little warning, there will be a break in videos next week as I've opened up my Patreon account, and so you're going to have the ability to, for $5 a month, you could get all my videos 1 week earlier. There's other tiers as well with better stuff and more content to come on that. I'm not sure exactly what other things I can add to the tiers, but just got some simple ones right now. But uh, yeah, check it out on Patreon next week if you so desire. Support me. Would be really helpful. But blood traits, battle traits, we've got blood tithe. We've talked about this in short, so I'm going to just pause here like I have been the past few, and then we'll just go to battle formations. So you've got Khornate legions once per turn when you declare a fight ability for a friendly Blades of Khorne demon. You pick a friendly Bloodbound unit that is not used to fight and is within 12. They can immediately be picked to use a fight immediately after the fight used by this ability has been resolved. Pretty strong. Murder Host. If a friendly non-monster Blades of Khorne demon uses a fight ability, it has a ward of 5 up for the rest of the turn. It's also pretty strong. I learned that the hard way. Brass Stampede. If the unmodified charge roll for a friendly Blades of Khorne's cavalry unit is an 8+, it has Strike First. And then Bloodbound Warhorde, add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Bloodbound units that target an enemy unit that is contesting an objective you do not control. So that one's a little bit more circumstantial. Heroic traits, you could pick one of 3. You get either Firebrand. If it's not a priest, it has Priest 1. If it's already a priest, add 1 to banishment rolls for it. Relentless Hunter. If this unit is picked to be the target of the Murder Lust ability, it can move 6 instead of 3. Or Favored Khorne, you begin the battle with 1 blood tithe point. It's a pretty powerful one. Artifacts of Power. Argath, King of Blades. I hate this artifact. You pick an enemy hero. Ward rolls can't be made for the target for the rest of the turn. Collar of Contempt. It can unbind as if it has Wizard 1. Each time the unit unbinds a spell, inflicts D3 mortal damage on the caster. Or Halo of Blood. Ignore negative modifiers to this unit's control score and to hit rolls and wound rolls for the unit's attacks. Manifestation Lore. You've got Summon Bleeding Icons, Summon Hexgorger Skulls, Summon Wrath Axe, all rituals requiring a 4 to bring them. Prayer Lore. You've got Unholy Flames, which is your unlimited one, answer value 5. Pick a friendly Blades of Khorne priest, pick a visible Blades of Khorne unit wholly within 12. Add 1 to the rend. If it's a 10+, add 1 to the wound as well. Witchbane Curse. Pick a visible enemy unit within an 18. Cast answer value 4. Subtract 1 from the target's power level to a minimum of 0 until the end of the next turn. And if the changing roll was an 8 up, inflict 3 mortal damage. That's really strong for an answer value 4. Blood Boil, also answer value 4. Pick a visible enemy unit with an 18. Roll number of dice equal to the number of models. For each 5 up, inflict a mortal damage. If the changing roll was an 8 up, subtract 1 from wound rolls. Scarbrand. Passive Scarbrand's Rage, while it has 10 or more damage points, it does not use a fight ability last turn, or if it is in the first turn of the battle, this attacks with Slaughter is 6 instead of 4. And then once per turn, Roar of Total Rage Rampage, you roll either 3 dice or a number of dice equal to the number of damage points this unit has. For each 4 up, inflict mortal damage on the target. Could be really powerful. And then Inescapable Wrath, you get to make 3 dice charges. Bloodthirster gets battle damaged. Commander of Tyrants, once per turn. You pick up to 3 other visible, friendly, non-unique Bloodthirster units. And add 1 to the attacks characteristic of their melee weapons. So if you really want to go that Bloodthirster army, bring like 4 miniatures and be done. That's up to you. Vengeance of Khorne. Pick an enemy hero in combat. Roll 8 dice, reach 4 up, inflict immortal damage. Bloodthirsty of Insensate Rage. Outrageous Karnak. Each time an attack made by this unit scores a critical hit, inflict a d3 mortal damage on each enemy unit within 8 of it after the fight has been resolved. Let me just tell you, shoot these guys. Don't go into combat with them. Just shoot them. Don't try. Shattering Charge Rampage. If it charged, pick an enemy unit within an inch on a roll a d3 on a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. If the target is infantry, inflict an additional 3 mortal damage. Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury. Back in the hunt, pick a friendly non-unique Blades of Khorne demon unit. For the rest of the turn, add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charge rolls for the target to a maximum of 3. Um, and then Ensnaring Lash as your rampage. Pick an enemy monster. If the target's that's in combat with this unit, when the target is picked to use a fight ability, it must pick this unit to be the target of its pile-in move, and subtract 1 from hit and wound rolls for attacks made as part of the fight ability against this unit. Alright. Karanak. Prey of the Blood God. In your deployment phase, you pick an enemy hero to be the unit's quarry. You can pick the hero in reserve. For Stalk the Prey, if the unit's quarry moves this phase, this unit can move up to 8 inches. It cannot move into combat and must move closer to the quarry. First of the pack passive, while it's wholly within 12 inches of a friendly flesh hound, add 2 to the charge rolls for this unit. In addition, while any friendly flesh hound units are wholly within 12 of this unit, they ignore the effect of the beast keyword. Skull Taker, Hero's Bane, pick an enemy hero in combat for the rest of the turn while the target is in combat. This unit has strike first, but all combat attacks it makes must target the enemy hero. And Skulls for the Skull Throne. Each time an enemy hero is slain, you receive an additional blood tithe point. Flesh Hounds, add 2 to charge rolls for this unit, and their beast. Pretty simple. Bloodmaster. This is who I definitely fought against a Bloodmaster. Pick a friendly Bloodletters unit that's not fight. They can fight afterwards, and you subtract 1 from ward rolls uh, for enemies that have the damage inflicted by those fight abilities. Pretty powerful ability, actually. Schoolmaster, Herald of Khorne. In the charge phase, you've got Slaughterous Charge. If it charged, pick an enemy unit within an inch on a roll d3 on a 2-up, inflict an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll. Herald of Trampling Death. Once per battle in any charge phase, pick a friendly Blood Crushers unit within this combat range. And the weapons used by the unit and the target have charge +1 damage. Bloodletters. So tanky. If the unit's in combat, you can return d3 slain models to the unit. 5-up save, 6-up ward. You can give them that 5-up ward after they fight with that battle formation. Makes them very durable. Blood Crushers, if it charge, pick an enemy unit within an inch. Roll d3 on a 2-up, inflict amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Pretty tanky as well. Skull Cannon, passive ground. Their bones seize their skulls. If any enemy models are slain by the fight ability, after the fight ability has been resolved, this unit can immediately use a shoot ability as if it were your shooting thing. That's going to be a little hard to do, but it can happen. And Gruesome Bombardment. If any damage points are allocated to an enemy unit by a shoot ability, subtract 3 from their control score for the rest of the turn. Blood Throne. Herald of Khorne on Blood Throne. Once per turn in your movement phase, you've got Blood Call. Pick a friendly Blades of Khorne demon unit that started the battle with 3 or more models and that's been destroyed. On a 4-up set, a replacement unit with half the number of models from the target, rounding up wholly within 12 of this unit and more than 9 from enemy units. Claws of Karanak. This unit can use normal move in the deployment as if it was your movement phase. And Pack Hunters, while it's wholly within 12 of a friendly Fleshhounds, they crit on 5-ups. They're pretty squishy. They're not great. Relmgor Ritualist, once per battle in your movement phase, desecrating blood runes, pick an objective or terrain feature within its combat range. For the rest of the battle, add 1 to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Bloodbound units while they're wholly within 12 of the target. So just kind of a priest character. Mighty Lord of Khorne, Lord of the Bloodbound, add 1 to charge rolls for Bloodbound infantry's units while they're wholly within 12, and bring me their skull once per turn in your combat phase. Pick a friendly or chosen unit wholly within 12, they get strike first. Lord of Khorne on Juggernaut, super tanky mounted character. Slaughterous charge in any charge phase. If it charged, make a crushing roll of d3 on a 2 up and put amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Lord of the Brass Stampede, if it charged this turn, for the rest of the turn, the following effects apply to cavalry while they're wholly within 18. Add 1 to charge rolls and reroll crushing charge rolls for those units. Alright, Bloodsecrated. Rage of Khorne, once per battle, you add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Bloodborne, and icon of the Blood God. If a friendly Bloodbound unit wholly within 12 of this unit makes the rally, you make 3 additional rally rolls of d6. Really powerful. Scar Bloodwrath, if this unit is in combat, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Wrathmongers while they're wholly within 12 of him. And if it's been destroyed in any movement phase, you roll 2d6 and an 8 up. Set up a replacement unit on the battlefield, more than 9 from all enemy units. Slaughter Priest, you get Blood Sacrifice, pick a friendly unit within its combat range, roll a d3 on a 2 up, put an amount of mortal damage on the target equal to the roll, gain a blood type point, and can unbind as if it's Wizard 1. Skull Grinder has Bone Crushing Strikes. If it used a fight ability, all of the attacks target the same enemy monster, and any of the attacks scored a critical hit. The monster gets strike last. And once per battle in the deployment, you pick another friendly Bloodbound hero within an 8 inches, pick one of the target's melee weapons, add 1 to their range for the rest of the battle. Very situational character. Uh, Exalted Aspiring Deathbringer. You've got Furious War Leader. He's pretty simple. You pick a friendly Blood Warriors unit that is not used a fight ability. They can use a fight ability after this guy does so, and they add 1 to wound rolls by this unit and the target for the rest of the turn. Exalted Deathbringer. Now, finally. If any damage points were allocated to an enemy unit by this unit's combat attacks that this turn and that enemy unit has been destroyed, heal 5 this unit and give it a Glorious Ascent token at the end of any turn. Glorious Ascent passive. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of its Deathbringer weapon for each Glorious Ascent token that it has. So basically, you want this guy killing weak heroes or units. Blood Reavers, pretty cheap. 6 up save. Add 1 to the rend if they charge, though, so they can. It's just rend 1, so they can become somewhat formidable if they charge. Hopefully they get some new models soon, because those models are looking dorky. Mighty Skull Crusher, super heavy, like, saved cavalry. If it charged, you make a crushing roll of d3 on a 2 up and put amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Skull Reapers, Trial of Skulls. If this unit destroyed an enemy unit this turn, add 8 to this unit's control score. If it did not destroy an enemy unit, it has a control score of 1 that cannot be modified. So they're not good at grabbing objectives if they don't kill things. If they don't kill things, then they basically suck at holding objectives. Otherwise, they are like objective score 13. It's interesting. Wrathmongers. Each time an unmodified hit roll for a combat attack that targets this unit is a 1, inflict mortal damage after the fight's been resolved. Crimson Haze. While this unit is in combat, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of melee weapons used by friendly Bloodbound units, excluding Wrathmonger units, while they're wholly within 12. Blood Warriors. Super tanky. No respite. Each time a model in this unit is slain by a combat attack and it was in combat with the attacking unit, roll 2 dice for each 5 up, inflict mortal damage after the fight ability has been resolved. Bloodstoker, once per turn in your movement phase, whip to fury, pick a fairly non-hero Bloodbound unit. For the rest of the turn, they can charge even if they run. Korgorath, kind of a joke monster. Horrific Predators, once per turn, pick it as a rampage, pick an enemy unit in combat. Roll a dice. On a 3 up, the target can't use commands. And then take crew of heads. If it's in combat, heal D3 at the end, or heal 3 at the end of the turn. But 8 health, 5 up save, no ward makes them pretty easy to kill. One shot from Yandrasta spear will kill it. Bleeding Icon. So you've got the Sigil of Doom. When they declare a command for ability with a unit within 8 inches, roll 2d6 on an 8 up. The command has no effect, but still counts as having been used, and the command points spent on it are still lost. That's annoying. Hexscourger Skulls. I hate this. When a number of damage points equal to the manifestation's health characteristic, this manifestation is destroyed and both of its parts are removed from play. Each time it moves, both of its parts must end within 8 inches of each other. Each part of this manifestation is armed with the stream of molten blood. Just 2 attacks, 2 up, 4 up, no rend, 1 damage. Melee. For each part of this manifestation that is within 8 inches of a wizard, friendly, or enemy, subtract 1 from casting rolls for that wizard. I guess if you take some Tzeentch allies, then the Wrath attacks, 3 attacks, 3 up, 2 up, rend 2, d3 damage. Hatred's Edge, pick up to 3 enemy units that this manifestation passed over. I roll a d3 for each target on a 2 up, inflict an amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. Kind of standard at this point. Skull Taker, I hate, or Skull Altar, I hate this one. It's super annoying. It's a very strong piece of terrain. While this terrain feature has an invoker, add 1 to the chanting rolls for the invoker. They cannot move. You move your ranges from the Skull Altar. All attacks that would target the invoker target this terrain. If it's destroyed, inflict d3 mortal damage on the invoker, then set up the invoker wholly within 3 of the terrain feature, not in combat. That unit is no longer an invoker. If it's not possible to set up the invoker, it's slain. And in your hero phase, you can put a priest in within 3 as the invoker. You can descend in your movement phase, set it wholly within 6 inches. It is no longer an invoker. And then reaction, a friendly unit within 18 inches was picked to be the target of an enemy spell. Roll a dice on a 5 up. If the terrain feature has an invoker, you gain a blood type point, but you always ignore the effect of the spell on a 5 up. You can use it more than once per phase, but can only roll once per friendly unit per spell cast. Blades of Khorne, Bloodbound, Gore Pilgrims. You got Slaughter Priests, 2 units of 5 Blood Warriors, 10 Blood Reavers, 3 Mighty Skull Crushers. Battle traits. You've got each time you get a blood type point, heads must roll, spend 3, and up to 3 friendly units, add 1 to their rend, or murderless. Each of them can move a d6. So d3 friendly units can move a d6 in the hero phase. Regiment abilities, pick 1. You've got either Favored Khorne once per turn, roll a dice on a 2 up, you receive a blood type point at the start of your turn. Pretty good. Or Blood Woken Runes. Friendly units have a ward 5 up if they use a fight ability in the same phase. Also really good. Your general gets 1 of these. You've got either Resanguination, pick a visible friendly unit wholly within 16 of your general, make a changing roll of d6, on a 3 up, heal d3 that unit. Headhunter, pick an enemy hero in combat with your general. Your hero has strike first, but all attacks made by them must target the enemy hero. Crimson Plate, your general has a ward of 5 up. Or Unholy Flames, pick a visible friendly unit wholly within 16, make a chanting roll, and a 4 up, add 1 to the rend of the melee weapons. So you've got your Slaughter Priest. He can sacrifice. He can also do his Blood Boil. On a 4 up, do d3 mortal damage. Okay. Skull Crushers have the 2 up, do a mortal wound. Or mortal damage, sorry. Blood Warriors, 4 up does mortal damage, but it's only 1 dice. Then Blood Reavers, if this unit's within 8 inches of your general, you can return d3 slain models to this unit, and it's reinforceable. So that's pretty strong. Thoughts on Blades of Khorne? Well, you're going to get a lot more of my thoughts on Blades of Khorne tomorrow when my episode drops. But they're strong. They really are strong. I think they can hit really hard. They have their weaknesses, but I was not able to correctly deal with their weaknesses and exploit in the battle. As much as I would have liked to, not giving away fully where the battle went, but um, I like Stormcast, and Blades of Khorne are always fun to go up against, that's for sure. All right, please let me know what your favorite unit is. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode, which will be tomorrow with my battle report. All right, goodbye.